change means there's going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight. It's going to make people uncomfortable. And you have to be ready for it. All the challenges. Change equals challenge, yes.
You've never been afraid of that, have you?
I'd say I'm not afraid of it. I think it's my nature and in my DNA to fight for the underdog, to go against the norm, to defy convention. That's just, I don't know where that came from. It's in my blood. But I think as I've gotten older and I have children, I do think a little bit more before I do things, before I act and speak. But I'm still a baller. That's it.
You're listening to MLVC, the Madonna podcast. Your place to just shine your light like a beautiful star. Show the world who you are. For all things Madonna Louise, Veronica Ciccone.
Hey guys, it's Tony. Why is it so hard to love one another? Why is it so hard to love?
Hey everybody, I'm Stefan. Welcome to this year's final episode of the MLVC podcast. Tony, can you believe it? Our final episode of 2019.
Yes, it's going to be it is our season finale, but rest assured we're going to come back in early 2020.
Are we?
Back to attack and hyper than ever. That's right.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, no, it's the final episode of 2019, final episode of the decade even. It's crazy.
I think it's the perfect opportunity to talk about this past decade with Madonna.
Yes, on today's final episode of 2019, the end of our very first season, we thought it'd be fun to look back on the last decade of Madonna's career and see what gifts she's given us, whether it be songs or videos or performances, fashion quotes, you name it. There's been no shortage of Madonna in the last 10 years.
None at all. And what's the most important thing about this past decade is we got 3 full albums.
I would have liked more.
Give the woman a break, okay? Because those 3 albums also begot 3 tours.
Correct, yes. And they've been great tours and great albums and great moments. So,
and I know for a fact that you've had a couple of great moments in each of those tours.
Just a couple.
But we'll get to that, guys.
Yes. First, I think this week in Ciccone, we are steady as she goes down in Miami. Madonna is currently performing the last couple dates of the U.S. leg of the Madame X tour at the Fillmore in Miami. And apparently it's
going off without a hitch.
Yeah,
no
seriously.
cancellations, no complaints, no refunds. Madonna got a lot of press this week because someone took pictures of her with her boyfriend on the balcony, but
it's the same balcony she's always in when she's in Miami. What hotel is that?
I don't know. I thought she had a house there, but
No, she sold that house, I think.
She did?
Yeah, I think so. It's just hotels, just condos.
But the Lourdes is there. I'm sure the other kids are there.
Yeah, she's surrounded by family and loved ones. She's in the heat. She's loving the heat.
She loves to be in a balmy atmosphere with Latin people. But, as far as Madonna being on the cover of newspapers because of who she's dating, anyone who's been a longtime fan knows that this is just another yawn. This is old news. This always happens when it comes to Madonna. I'm happy to see her in the press, but,
Well, my thing is, why are they always saying, look at Madonna with a younger man? I'm like, they never do that for, like, Mick Jagger or... Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of other men who are...
Mick Jagger is enough. He's like, 70-something, and he's got like a 2-year-old?
Yeah.
And that's his girlfriend.
Right. Yeah, it's just weird that they always pick on her for her age. Shame on you.
Shame on you.
New York Post. Although not defending the New York Post, it is quite fun that we have such salacious headlines. I would love a salacious New York Post headline.
Me too. I think subconsciously one of the reasons I moved to New York was so I could buy the New York Post, because, I grew up seeing these Madonna covers, all over MTV or on the news and be like, God, I just want to get my hands on that. But one of the fun things about this cover this week is that a lot of people that follow us on Instagram created stories showing all of the historic covers. So
yeah, it was great. What a tramp.
What a tramp. I love that one. It became a t-shirt.
Yes. I think a lot of them have. I'm not ashamed.
I remember the one for right when Reinvention Tour was announced and the cover had her in that Marie Antoinette garb and it said Lady Lust. And I'm like, is that supposed to be a dig? Because it doesn't sound like it is.
No,
you
and
know?
it's a goddamn good photo. So.
Yeah, it's a very good photo. I have the T-shirt.
Of course you do.
I have all the T-shirts.
Just so you know, listeners, if I'm a bit of a sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, runny nose, so you can rest medicine type of speaker today on the episode, it's because I have yet to get over my Madonna illness. Shame on me for riding the Bolt bus to and from Philadelphia like a madman to see Madonna. And
Yeah, this is not an ad for Bolt Bus.
correct. Next time if you ever take public transit to and from Madonna, wear a face mask because not a MDNA skincare face mask. Wear like a doctoral, like a
An
medicinal,
actual face cover.
yeah, like a SARS mask. Wear that, and then you won't catch disease. Because I have been down for the count. Actually, this is believe it or not, the highest my voice has sounded in about a week.
It's okay. Just, take 2 of these and call me in the morning, okay?
Yeah, so I have my tea and some cough drops and some tissues at the ready. So I'm ready to take on the episode.
So one of the highlights of our podcast season, at least in, the last few episodes, is that we've been able to get some amazing guests and, talk to the people. But today it's just us.
I know. It's back to basics, Tony. Can we do an episode without a guest? It's been a while.
We're doing it. I mean, I've got rollers on, I'm wearing bath slippers, and I just don't give a fuck because there's nobody here except
We
you.
do have an extra chair with Tony has a mannequin in his home. It's dressed up as Madonna from, if you've seen the Blonde Ambition tour, either in person or on video, you know the time when she's doing Material Girl in that little nightie with a purple nightie with the little fur fringe. That's what the mannequin is dressed in.
I.e. the worst part of the show. But I had to commemorate it in any way, shape, or form. So let's get into this decade in Madonna, this past decade. So I guess we start with 2010, huh?
Yeah, it's been a lot. There's a lot to cover in the last 10 years of Madonna, which it was fun to sort of go back and look and see everything that she's produced from an artistic standpoint, from just a pop culture standpoint. There's been a lot. And
everything she's influenced as well. So we usher in this new decade with a newly single Madonna.
Oh.
It's okay.
Back on the dating field.
It's okay. I think she was love spent, you know what I mean?
But I sometimes enjoy when Madonna, it sort of like reinvigorates her when she's single. She
lyrically, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's, of course, like it helps inflect her spirit and gives us some deep insights into her life.
And also gives us headlines of who she's dating.
Correct, yes. But yeah, I think 2010 we were a little light with Madonna just because 2009 she had been busy with the Sticky and Sweet tour. So entering the teens, not teens, but in 2010 we saw a bit of the release of the Sticky and Sweet tour on DVD. But then she also started that year. That was when she began her feature film directorial debut for WE in London, New York, and France.
That's right. She actually took the F train to do research for the film because apparently one of the characters gets on a subway and, she just had to figure it out for herself. And that was all over the news. Madonna took the F train and people were like, what?
If I saw Madonna on the F train, I'd be like, what the F?
I'd say, do you have hand sanitizer? Because you're going to need it.
I don't think she touched the poles.
No.
I think people propped her up.
She had a team of people with her. I remember that.
Surrounding her.
Yeah.
Well, of course. Because if you've ever been on the F train, people, you don't want to touch don't touch the guardrail because people touch guardrails with strange portions of their bodies.
Also in 2010, we got a very, very important rendition of Like a Prayer. It was performed at the Hope for Haiti telethon. And the reason I say it's important, it's because that's pretty much been the version we've heard since then.
Yeah, I remember there was that tragedy with the earthquake in Haiti, and they did that telethon, and Madonna performed, and it was a really good rendition of that song. So I don't blame her for trotting that out every now and again.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great every time we hear it at
She looked great.
all the tours, the Met Ball, Madame X, Eurovision.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, Tony.
Okay, I know. I'm so excited.
So then 2011.
Wait, I have one more.
Oh.
One more factoid.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I'm
So,
excited.
Yeah, so the Sticky and Sweet tour was in the last parts of 2008, 2009, but the DVD/live album came out in 2010, and that was actually, it was Madonna's 20th top 10 album on the charts, which is really impressive considering that the show didn't sound so good.
Yeah, I was slightly disappointed with the audio output on that, just because unfortunately, the Confessions tour was done so well.
It was very expensive.
It was just a brilliant production, and how they produced that. The concert footage was amazing. So I think it was a little lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is not a Madonna dig.
Not at all.
She didn't do the sound mixing herself.
Even though the sound was lacking and we wanted it to be better quality, that show that was recorded in Buenos Aires was beautiful. I mean, I love how she went down to Vito's Road and, gave them what they needed. And just to see, her Argentine audience just love her throughout the whole show was great, because like we've said before, fandom in other countries is very different from fandom in America. It's still fervent, but it's just more intense.
Yeah. And if you can be 50 years old and perform the way that Madonna did, then good for you. We should all pray to be that limber and athletic.
Yeah, Sticky and Sweet was very, very physical. She hula hooped, right?
Hula hoop, jump rope. Jump rope.
Same thing.
But exactly, jump rope and the Vogue and this, you go do that at 50 years old and come back to me.
Yeah, give me a call after, okay?
So tell me how you feel.
All right, 2011.
Oh, well, I don't know. We're going to skip around, I guess, in terms of dates and highlights. I don't know. I thought one of my favorite highlights was when she showed up at the Met Gala in that gorgeous Stella McCartney gown, the one with it was light turquoise with all the stars cascading down the back. She looked gorgeous. And and nobody, obviously there's a lot of people who can walk a runway or a red carpet and look amazing. Madonna always looks amazing.
Yeah. And even if you don't agree with what she wears at any of the Met Balls she's been to, she will get the most attention, hands down.
Yeah, she always does the theme really well. I love how she interprets the themes for that particular year. And I'm blanking on the theme for that year, but... That
was the year of extreme Catholicism or whatever it was. That's why she was asked to perform.
No. That was later. The one in 2011. I think there was something with, I forget what the Met Gala, why she was wearing that star gown or whatever, but... Yeah,
I skipped ahead. Yeah, okay, well, someone let us know what the theme was that year. Obviously, it wasn't cartoon characters.
No. And I also loved in 2011, there was a press conference for WE in September, and that was where we got the infamous "I absolutely loathe hydrangeas" quote from her, where
on a hot mic.
Yes, it's so beautiful. I love that clip. If you watch her, and it was, everyone said she rolled her eyes, and she was doing that to a fan. That was not a fan. That's some guy he gave her a group of hydrangeas because he knows she doesn't like them, and he does that to elicit our extreme response. So he got it, and it's great, and I love that we have that.
So
now.
Don't feel bad for him, people. Okay.
Yeah.
So Madonna's film WE, which is about Wallace Simpson and the Duke of Windsor, yeah.
I did see it.
I saw it too.
I'm blanking
and
on the details.
I actually loved it. I thought she did a really good job. It was better in scope than, let's say, Filth and Wisdom. I just, she really put a lot of herself into it. And one of the most exciting things about this film coming out was that we all knew we were going to get a single in the form of Masterpiece. And it delivered. I went to a private screening that I actually begged to be included in, and everyone couldn't wait to leave the theater. It wasn't like a target audience, it was just people that showed up. But I was there as soon as the credits rolled to hear Masterpiece in its entirety, and it it was as good as I thought it was going to be.
What award did that win?
It won the Golden Globe.
Yes, that's right.
The following year.
Elton John.
Yeah, well, I just watched that clip recently, and he's so sour. It's like you wrote a song for Romeo and Juliet, and you're crying about losing to Madonna, who made a historical film.
Yeah,
I mean,
get over it, Elton.
Yeah, and what's really sad is that the only reason that it wasn't nominated for an Academy Award was because the song started rolling after the credits started. If she had included the song in the actual film, it would have qualified. So,
note to self.
Note to self, Madonna. If you want that Oscar, you got to play
in the film.
Play the game. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh,
it is
well,
a shame.
I don't think she's crying over that.
I think the Oscar is something that has eluded her whole career, but there's still time. There's still time.
True. She's going to keep on going, hopefully.
So I guess we roll on into 2012. Madonna won the Golden Globe in January and was, kind of teasing a new album, a new single. We all knew something was coming because in February there was a Super Bowl 46 performance.
And it's an epic performance. I remember I was actually in Miami for a work conference, and I was telling everybody, I'm like, okay, I'll be hands on deck, but the moment that the Super Bowl halftime show was coming on, I have to be in front of a television. So I sequestered myself in my room, and people were blowing up my phone. I was like, I'm turning this on silent and I'm just focusing on Madonna. And, I think every Madonna fan who was watching that live was probably experiencing the same thing that I was, where you're just the pit of your stomach is in knots. You're just praying that everything goes flawlessly. And besides that one minuscule little step down during the performance where she stepped up and then had to step back down and then stepped back up.
Didn't notice.
Besides that, I would say it was probably one of the most flawless Madonna performances ever. 12 minutes of absolute sheer heaven.
Have you guys ever gone to extremes of any kind to see a Madonna live performance on TV? I know you guys have, because I did for the Super Bowl performance. I was working some event at Film Society, and I knew I was going to be there during the time. My coworker Mary and I were the only and Nakia too. We were all just big Madonna fans, and we're like, I'm not watching this on my phone. It's just they can't do that. So we conned and hustled a couple of the projectionists in the Film Society movie theater, and they rigged a large screen TV, and I don't know where they got, the signal from, but lo and behold, we went into the Furman Gallery, closed the doors, and watched the Madonna performance on a huge screen, and it was, I felt so relieved.
Yeah, I know.
A, that I was watching it, and B, that it was as amazing as I imagined it would be.
Yeah, it was. I think with Madonna performances, when they're of that scale, you're kind of just you don't breathe for the entire time because you're just waiting to see what happens and how she does, because you're rooting for her.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, you're on her side. There's a part of you sending that positive energy to her, and thank God she, and because that was a high profile performance. There's a lot of eyes on her.
Well, it was the most watched Super Bowl performance yet. It was 114 million people. It's hard to do. Not everybody has that.
And I honestly think Madonna elevated the Super Bowl halftime show performance. When she came out on, with those guys carrying her out.
It was Cleopatra's entry into Rome.
Yeah, and it was just yep, Madonna's not fucking around. She's here to bring it, and she brought it. And then ever since, you've seen people, the Super Bowl halftime performance has always been sort of amazing and opulent, but she sort of raised the bar. And ever since then, people have been trying to outdo that, and they've done great jobs as well. But Madonna changed the game. As
usual. Yes. There was a quote that I snagged somewhere in there from local big mouth Alec Baldwin, where he actually said, 2/4 of Super Bowl and the strongest performer is Madonna. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, I think when that was coming out, somebody was at work, they said, do you know who's performing on the Super Bowl? And at this point, I don't remember. But at the moment it was happening, I was like, oh yeah, it's blah, 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 and so forth and so on. And they're like, Stefan, how do you know that? I'm like, well, it's because it's happening around the Madonna show.
And another thing that Madonna has, she can lay claim that she started this trend. So immediately after the Super Bowl performance, a television commercial pops up saying, "Oh, the MDNA tour tickets on sale." I think Beyonce's done that since.
They all do it,
Bruno
yeah.
Mars has done it since, et cetera, et cetera. So, just pave that way for us, lady.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a great marketing tool because, in case people don't realize, you don't get paid to do the Super Bowl halftime.
No.
Your payment for doing the Super Bowl halftime show is the marketing and the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Because they know that so many people are watching that if you're in the Super Bowl halftime performance, then you're going to get seen. So Madonna utilized that as a launch pad for the MDNA era. She, I think the album came out, or no, the song came out right before. I think the album came out that week, and then you also were able to purchase tickets. And
Yep. So the first single for MDNA that was also performed at the Super Bowl with MIA with the middle finger and Nicki Minaj. That's "Give Me All Your Lovin'," the 38th top 10 single.
A beautiful video.
That's one of my top 5 videos, and I know a lot of people don't like the song. I just think the video is really smart. It's got football imagery in it.
How they've weaved
but it's also very Madonna.
Oh, that little hair twirling part where she's walking down the street.
She looks so good.
One of my favorite parts of that video is when she drops out of the window and when she lands, the look she gives on the camera as she's sort of just walking by, it's it is quintessential Madonna, and it's perfect. It's heaven.
And I love that weirdo scene in the nightclub with the blonde curls and the weird
with the robots.
Yeah.
And the video,
but it works.
It's such a bizarre video, but where they're making her walk on the wall on the side where they're all carrying her, and it was
directed by French producing team Megaforce.
Right, and I've not seen any of their other work, but it's I love what they did with her.
Yeah, more, please.
Yes, but also I loved that part of the MDNA era that we had in 2012. We also got the wonderful video for "Girl Gone Wild." I love her with the Kazaki guys doing in the heels, and that video is just gorgeous and beautiful, and the styling I love. And
yeah, MDNA was very exciting because it was Madonna kind of re-embracing her dance floor roots, but also kind of magnifying what was going on in music at that time.
Yeah.
Not every track on that album is as strong as the singles, but it's definitely a vibe.
It's also very angry.
Yeah.
It's Madonna's divorce album.
Yeah, and there's a deluxe version with additional tracks, and all those tracks work.
Beautiful Killer.
Oh, Beautiful Killer is amazing. Performed live at the Olympia in
good.
Paris.
One of my favorite Madonna performances ever.
Me too.
But it was great. And that tour was heaven. I think a lot of people didn't like that tour when it first came out because they were like, "There's too much guns." And I'm like, seriously, people, let's not be angry that Madonna's showcasing protesting gun violence and usage in her show. How about you do a march about gun violence in America in general?
Exactly. It was a great tour. Unfortunately, I saw it at Yankee Stadium, which was not the best venue.
The acoustics were terrible.
Yeah, it was like being in a dark cave, and then Madonna was the light at the end of that cave, but it wasn't too visible. You know what I mean?
It's because all the sound just escaped out of the roof of that. I
couldn't even smell the incense. Most people that were close told me that you could smell the incense from the urns in the beginning, and I'm like, well, really, all I could smell was stale popcorn from the Yankee concession stand.
Yeah, I got to see that in the Golden Triangle.
I'm sorry.
between Madonna's legs in Philadelphia, and then the second time I saw it was at Yankee Stadium, which I was like, I think I see a blonde ant running around.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Is that she's holding a gun? I think, and then
even the video screens look small.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. Yankee Stadium was a terrible place to see a show.
And let's not even talk about the subway ride home.
Oh Jesus, it was but it was a drunk Madonna fans,
But it was sardines in a very tiny can. So the MDNA tour.
Clearly, you weren't pressed up against hot men like I was.
No, I wasn't. I was with the local fans on the way to New Jersey Transit. So, yeah, the MDNA tour was from May to December 2012. MDNA was released in March, and that was the 8th #1 album in Madonna's storied career.
Woohoo!
And it was also the first release from her new 3-album / tour deal with Live Nation and Interscope Records, which a lot of people have mixed feelings about. I think, for those first 2 tours, speaking,
It was done very
yeah,
well.
for MDNA and Rebel Heart, I feel like they needed Live Nation behind those tours to make them go off as effortlessly as they did. For Madam X, maybe a theater producer would have been a better idea.
Yeah, she should have consulted someone from Broadway.
I'm just saying that ticket sales were a mess. But moving on, MDNA tour was not a mess because it earned $305 million. It was the highest grossing tour of 2012, obviously.
Yeah, she brought it.
Mm-hmm. And get the DVD because it looks so good. And the sound is good too.
Mm-hmm. And then as a result of that, in 2013, Madonna actually received the award at Billboard, the Billboard Music Awards, the top touring artist.
Yep.
She looked flawless.
For all eternity.
Forever.
Forever.
Forever and ever.
So in 2013, we get a more artistically inspired Madonna. She teams up with Stephen Klein, and they come up with the Secret Project Revolution, which was very scary when it was being teased.
Yeah, because you didn't quite know what was coming, what it was.
It looked like people were being tortured and jailed.
When that premiered, she did that at a gallery space literally around the corner from my apartment.
At the Gagosian Gallery.
Which I think is no longer there.
Yeah.
I think they tore that down for...
Did you go?
So as soon as I found out she was around the corner, I literally dropped everything, threw shoes on, ran around, and...
It's kind of like when I found out Madonna was rehearsing in Greenpoint.
Yes, you go. And I stood outside. I watched Sean Penn walk in.
Wait. I've never heard the story. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
My God, have I not told this story?
No.
Yeah. So it was like they had projected the Secret Project Revolution on the wall of the Gagosian Gallery.
All 17 minutes of it.
And no. They weren't broadcasting they were just like putting the like logo of it on the outside. And there was a police fence up so you couldn't get in. I was actually wondering, I'm like, should I just go up and ask if I could get in? But the security was so tight. Like they were like carding people and like showing credentials. And Perez Hilton walked in and like I said, Sean Penn walked in. There was a couple other celebrities that I remember seeing go in. And but they had like scattered all of these little Secret Project Revolution business cards all over West Chelsea.
I hope you have some.
I do. I don't know where they are at the moment, but I know that I grabbed a couple of them off the floor, and I was like, oh, I'm holding on to these. But yeah, I waited around because it was a nice day out and evening. I was able to hear them playing it, and then I got to hear her sing that song that she performed with Rocco. What cover was that? I forget.
I don't.
FYI, people,
Yeah.
we get shade all the time for not remembering certain facts on this podcast. It's like, I can't remember everything.
But think about all the things that I do come up with that, seem very esoteric. So, take the good, take the bad.
We can't remember everything that goes on, but we try, people. Yeah. We're just trying our best here at the MLVC podcast.
Yeah, I do recall that Rocco danced in that performance.
Yes, I remember seeing that, and like after the fact, they had broadcasted it or whatnot, and there was I like that just being artful.
Yeah. So yeah, this was in addition to the Gagosian Gallery, that was one of the quote secret locations around the world where Secret Project Revolution was screened, and after those exclusive performances, it was on BitTorrent, which I couldn't figure out.
Yeah. Did you see it live?
No, I didn't. I saw it on YouTube. Well, I mean,
Tony, get out.
I was trying to figure out BitTorrent.
I'm going to do the rest of the episode with the mannequin.
So yeah, that was amazing. And you can find Secret Project Revolution, all 17 minutes of it on YouTube if you have not seen it yet. It's very interesting, and it just reminds you that Madonna is an artist.
Yeah, well, and I love that she turned, lemons into lemonade, because originally she had meant to do what lingerie? Didn't she? She was coming out with a lingerie line, like bras and panties, and she meant to do a commercial with Stephen Klein for that. And then I think that got kiboshed, and so but because she'd already sort of like put Stephen Klein on hold and had the space rented, he was on retainer. Yeah, she was like, well, let's do something. And so she wore the bra and panties in the lingerie was like throughout the Secret Project Revolution. And she just decided to do an art piece. I personally would like to see more of Madonna doing that. Like, we should just get one of those a year.
Like the Ecstatic Process book project. If anyone has an extra copy laying around, you can send it to me.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, if there's anyone who has spare not MDNA, what am I saying?
Madam X VIP books?
Madam X VIP books. If you have got a spare and you're looking to unload them, Tony and I would be more than happy to take them.
Yes, you can think of it as donating to a museum, an artifact that the MLVC podcast could cherish and have and hold.
Oh, touche. Yeah, I mean, my Madonna collection would be remiss if I didn't have a VIP tour, but I sadly didn't get VIP tickets. But
it's okay. There's still time. The tour is still in full swing. So, we have to mention that, in this time span, Madonna was really devoting a lot of time and money to the charitable causes that, she holds so dear to her heart, especially raising Malawi. She was building hospitals and, just giving money.
She was saving lives, Tony.
She was saving lives, and also, 2013, Detroit has been in trouble, and she went in there and donated some money to the schools. And
oh yeah, that's when she went to that boxing ring, right?
Yeah. So
that cute little video of her showing.
It's very
up.
commendable that she'll give money, to charitable causes in Detroit, but she will not take her tour there.
She gives back to the people, though.
She does, and she's not very showy about it. It's something that she's always done, from the very beginning when, she was, dealing with the AIDS crisis being so out of control in the 80s and 90s. Up until now, she's helping an entire African nation get back on its feet by single-handedly adopting all the unwanted children. So don't look down at Madonna because of what she does or what she doesn't do. Look up at her and be charitable yourself.
Correct. Give back, people, in honor of Madonna.
Thank you.
And we also, in 2013, we got to see Madonna attend the release of the MDNA tour video at the Paris movie theater in New York City.
That's right. I was there once again in the balcony all the way in the back. But I was there. She was also a blonde aunt with a black top hat. But
yeah, she looked good.
She looked good. And it was actually really cool to see. I felt like I was seeing Truth or Dare because, seeing her in concert on a big movie screen is always welcome.
Absolutely.
So, let's see the Madam X tour projected on
that would
a
be
movie
fun.
screen.
I hope they
That
do
would be
something
great,
special
yeah.
for that.
Netflix owns the Paris theater now, so dreams can come true.
Mm-hmm. Let's get on the list for that.
I'm manifesting, okay?
Actually, what we should do is just we should get a part-time job at the Paris Theater now. So then that way, like just doing popcorn or like concessions. And then that way, when they actually have it, we'll just request to be on for that night. And then we'll get to serve Madonna popcorn.
Okay.
I'm on that. I'm gonna mental note to self.
I'm gonna look into that. I mean, I also know a couple of people that work at Netflix, so we may not have to get jobs selling popcorn. Okay.
Actually, personal note. I had a roommate years and years and years ago. She was a tiny little thing, and she worked at the Paris Theater and doing concessions. And every night that she would work, she would come home with literally like a 3-foot tall bag of popcorn.
Yum.
It was literally almost taller than her.
They had good popcorn.
And
there.
because she was vegan, popcorn was safe for her to eat. And so that was what she was eating. She was this poor little thing. And God bless her. But she would come home every night with that huge bag of popcorn. Yeah. And I would just like take a scoop out and like a bowl and just eat it. And it was so good.
Once upon a time, there was a young girl from Detroit, Michigan, who came to New York City, and she wanted to be a dancer and a singer, and she was so hungry and broke that she actually ate popcorn every night for dinner. Just think about that, guys.
I wonder who that could be.
And I wonder who it could be, and I wonder what happened to her.
Yeah, I know. I'd really like to hear a podcast about that woman.
Well, maybe one day.
Maybe.
So in 2014, we had a very important occurrence. It was the introduction of MDNA Skin by MTG in Japan.
And because of that, no one knows that you're really 85, Tony.
That's funny you say that because someone at work used to say, Tony's actually 90 years old. You just wouldn't know it by looking at them. But yeah, I actually didn't get into MDNA Skin until a few years later when it came to America. But this is where it started, and I was like, giving it a really big side eye because you went on the website and it was in Japanese, so there was no way of ordering unless you spoke Japanese.
Right.
A couple of years after it was introduced, my friend was in the Tokyo Narita airport, and he got a couple of the eye masks, brought them back, and I was instantly hooked. But more on that later.
Those products are good.
Yeah, they're really good. We like them, and
If you didn't hear last week's episode where we actually demoed them, I mean, they're amazing.
and we love the people at MDNA Skin for giving us that opportunity. Plug. Let's collaborate soon, guys.
Feel free to send us stuff whenever you like.
All right, let's roll on into 2014.
Yeah, so 2014 in January, after a long musical break from Madonna, we got a performance. Her and Miley Cyrus teamed up on Miley's MTV Unplugged and did a rousing rendition of Don't Tell Me.
I mean, most people in the world were like, where is that Miley-Madonna collaboration I've been waiting for? It literally landed in our laps.
I love Miley.
Oh, me too.
I mean, I think she's great. Her voice is great. I love all of her music. And
she has a great spirit. She's like a crazy combination of Madonna, Mae West, and Dolly Parton.
yeah, and that album was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of wanted, she duetted with Dolly Parton on that album, but I really would have loved to have a official Madonna duet. Maybe
Yeah,
there's
it can still
can
happen.
still happen.
I mean, Miley's like turning it out, and she's crazier than ever. So
Yeah, that was a good. I love that. Madonna looked good. I
Mm-hmm.
loved how saucy and voluptuous and full she looked, and
and
that
country.
cowboy outfit, and come on, Don't Tell Me is a great song.
Yeah.
so.
I mean, I love it when Madonna does a country theme, as long as it's not the funny song. Moving on.
Tony. So then in February, more Madonna performance was coming along.
We love Madonna at the Grammys.
Yes, we got a great Grammy. She was alongside Macklemore and Ryan Lewis and Mary Lambert and Queen Latifah. It was in what was happening in gay culture that was because it was a whole like LGBT like tribute. Because remember they had all those couples walk down the aisle.
Right. We had marriage equality a year before, right?
I think
Something
right,
like
yeah,
that.
something like that.
I don't know. I ain't getting married.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Happily.
I just want the trip. And the tax break would be nice. Other than that.
And the registry at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, can I tell you? I won't name names because I don't want people to know about it. But a friend of mine told me that in order to get back at a couple, the one year he went into the store that he didn't. I don't know what the couple did, but the couple pissed him off, and so in order to get back at him, he went and purchased like $4,000 worth of their registry stuff with cash.
Nice.
And then returned it all after the wedding so that way people couldn't buy it because they thought it was already taken and there was no way to take it back to him because he paid for it in cash. And so that people didn't get like $4,000 worth of merchandise for their, and I was like, oh my God, that is shady.
That's amazing. That's just a sneak peek from our next podcast, Revenge.
Yeah, I was like, don't piss him off. Don't get on his bad side.
Don't do it. So 2014 also, towards the end of the year, also saw something that none of us enjoyed.
Well, sort of. I mean,
It was a bittersweet moment. I remember waking up on a Saturday morning and looking at my,
social. I don't know if it's
No.
Twitter.
Actually, my friend John texted me and he's like, "Did you get this?" And with a screenshot, and I was like, I felt like my heart beating really fast. I was like, "Oh no, did this come out early?" And it's not. And it was like 6 tracks.
Well, no. First, we got. I remember. I think it was the Wednesday of Thanksgiving that year, where 2 songs from Madonna's upcoming album leaked. So we got the 2 Avicii versions of Rebel Heart and Wash All Over Me, which honestly
are better than the album version.
Still my favorite version of that song. And I know that we shouldn't have those in our possession, but when they leaked, I was like, oh my God, it's dance. It's amazing. And I love the Wash All Over Me version. I had my little niece at the time addicted to that song for good reason.
Kids love it.
It's a great song. So those leaked, and we thought that would be the end of it. But then I think it was like
the week before Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I was like, No, it was like, was it the week? It was right in December, and then I think the full album leaked. Like it was like this deluge of like 20.
But I mean, like the week before Christmas, she was forced to put them on.
Correct.
On
So then,
iTunes.
right, because of the deluge of the leak of all of the songs, she decided to take it back into her hands and be in control. And we got gifted an early Madonna gift from Christmas, which was the 6 first tracks officially done and on iTunes and for sale of the Rebel Heart era. And I think, well, up until that point, we had heard 5 of the 6. The big surprise was Ghost Town, which I remember I was riding home to visit family on the train, and I was listening to that, and I'm like, oh my God, this is heaven.
Yeah.
It's like Madonna does Karen Carpenter.
It's a beautiful song, which unfortunately, if anybody else would have recorded it and released it, it would have been a smash.
Number one hit. God damn it.
But, anyway, we'll move on. So one of the things that made me really upset about this leak, and I'm sure it upset a lot of fans too, is that Madonna always has a very specific way of rolling out an album, and this was no exception. I remember, I don't know how I came upon this, but if you said unapologetic bitch to Siri, it would take you to Madonna's Wikipedia page. And someone had explained to me that was probably their way of like doing a test of, different actions that you would do on Siri or with your browser, and it would take you to a Madonna page. It was probably going to be linked to the album page or whatever it was. But these were all things that never happened because Madonna was forced to kind of retool the release and release it pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, so it was like, I think once the year started, we got the Living for Love video and the song, and then there was a bunch of promotional shows that we got. I mean, one of my personal faves forever to this day, it still is. One of my favorite Madonna performances ever is the Living for Love on Le Grand Journal. Like, it's just such a great performance. I love the mix. It's the Mnek remix that she had done on tour, but it's shortened version that, because on tour it was the long interlude and this, that. It's such a great house version of that song with her and the twins sort of like doing a ramped up version of Vogue, and not the song, but the dance. And it's great.
Yeah, it's also, another one in a long line of performances for French TV that Madonna just brings something different. She loves France and she loves her French fans, and this was no exception. She gave them something that she did not give anyone else.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, now we will mention this just because we have to in looking back.
Okay, fine. Madonna performed at the Brit. Somebody pulled on her cape too hard and she fell, but she kept performing, and that's the trooper we know and love.
Yeah, that was, I think, the thing that was most significant about that was not that she didn't fall. She was yanked off those stairs. And
those 2 dancers have not been seen or heard from since.
Yeah, seriously. They were contracted to finish the tour, and they've gone away, and we've never heard from them again.
And she repeated the same performance at the Grammys a week later, and it was
flawless.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah, well, but I mean, come on. Who's going to get yanked off the stage at 57 years old and get back up and finish doing the rest of the number? Like,
not Celine Dion.
I mean, and just not anybody. Like most people, just that'd be it. That would be the end of the number.
Yeah, Mariah would have, if it would have, something like this would have happened to Mariah, she would have gotten up and slapped everybody on stage.
Mariah doesn't dance, though. Like, she would have never been on the stairs in the first place.
No,
she just stands
never.
there.
She would have been carried to the stairs.
Not shading Mariah, because
no, we love Mariah.
Mariah just got her, 29th number one, no, 20th, 19th, I'm blanking, I don't remember. All I Want for Christmas Is You just hit number one for the first time in 25 years, and Billboard put out that wonderful article of her and naming all the stats. It is so impressive to hear Mariah's credentials and how she's achieved such amazingness through her career.
What I think is most impressive about Mariah and her fans, also known as the Lambs, is that she was able to get her fans to get 2 of her albums from decades ago back to number one. And I'm talking about Glitter, which was number one last year.
Right.
And now this one, All I Want for Christmas, or Mariah Carey.
Home for Christmas.
Something with
like
the
that.
Snow, whatever. Yeah, I don't know the name of the album, but it's number one, and it's well deserved.
Yeah, and I agree. I think when I saw that, I'm like, good for those fans for being able to rally together and make that happen. And the first thing I thought of was, why can't fans do that for Madonna?
Yeah, Justice for Santa Baby.
You hate that song.
Well, I've heard it a couple times by accident this Christmas season, and I think it's really sweet.
Honestly, it puts me in a Christmas mood right away. If I hear that song on the radio when I'm home for Christmas, it gives me the warm fuzzies.
I told you I was in a cab the other day and it came on, and I was like, oh, I'm so impressed Madonna's being played on the radio, one. And two,
Correct.
It's Santa Baby.
Yeah, Madonna, Santa Baby.
So let's...
Right, so also in 2015, we then also got to see a wonderful performance of Ghost Town.
Right, because there's heavy, heavy promotion for the Rebel Heart album, which we all appreciate.
Loved it. She looked great. Taylor Swift didn't sing with her. She just played backup on guitar.
Talk about being subdued.
Yeah, seriously. She's like, no, Taylor, you're not singing with me. You're just going to play backup. And she did.
Yeah.
And Madonna also appeared on the Howard Stern show for the very first time.
Oh my God, she spoke to Howard Stern for like over an hour.
It was great.
Yeah, I listened to it over the summer again, just because I'm doing a podcast about Madonna and I gotta revisit a lot of key moments. And
It's torturous, isn't it?
It's so good though. If you have the chance and you haven't heard it, I mean, Howard Stern used to insult Madonna in the most terrible way in the late 80s and 90s, and to hear them kind of like meet on a different level, the highest level, and just, be real and be rich and be accomplished and, have nothing bad to say about each other was actually really good.
Yeah. And it's fun to hear. It's a good interview and nothing salacious or trashy or anything.
In fact, she's very vulnerable in some parts.
Yes. You know what? I expect her to be that way when we have her on this show.
I don't know. I expect to get yelled at.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, just to clear the air,
Clarification.
I was somehow able to hear audio from my chat with Madonna at the Madame X tour. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me where. I just was able to hear it.
It sounds so mysterious.
Yes. Life is a mystery, Tony. You should know that by now. I was able to hear audio from my beer bitch chat with Sean, our guest from last week. And she was not as tough as I remembered. I think in the moment, with Madonna sitting directly next to me with a microphone in my face, I was a little nervous and a little overwhelmed. And I think maybe I thought it was more of a train wreck than it was. It was not. So I just wanted to clear the air, let it know that when I heard it, I was like, oh, she complimented our outfits. I didn't remember that. And FYI, she was the one who started down the road of getting off, not me. I did take it to the bathroom and say, oh yeah, Sean and I got off in the bathroom before the show. But Madonna brought it there first. It was not me bringing it up.
She took you there. So, you were in the beer seat in 2019 for the Madame X tour, and that's just gonna.
Oh, that's flawlessly segues.
It's just gonna segue into the Rebel Heart tour, which happened in September 2015, all the way through March 2016. And I do believe that Stefan made an appearance on stage.
Yes, not on the DVD. You don't see me. I was a little crushed that I didn't make it next to Katy Perry.
You can't have it all, okay?
Yeah, you can't get it all. But yes, I was. As I've said before, if you're just joining us on the podcast, I had the distinct privilege of dancing with Madonna. So videos on YouTube, it's amazing.
It's actually really, really great to see.
Yeah, when people ask me what my favorite part of that tour was, I'm like, dancing with her.
I love it because it's one of us taking one for the team.
Yeah. It's definitely a euphoric moment to say the least.
So the Rebel Heart tour was super successful. It went all over the world. Like, she went to places she had not been in a long, long time.
Down under.
Unfortunately, this was her 13th album and the first album not to go to number one since Ray of Light. But that's okay. The tour made up for it.
Yeah, damn
Wouldn't you
right.
say?
Oh my God, that tour was amazing.
Yeah, she went to Australia. She hadn't been there in a while, and I know a lot of our Australian fans and friends got to see it up close, and they also had the distinct pleasure of attending the Tears of a Clown mini show.
Yeah, that's my clown music, by the way.
A lot of people do not like the Tears of a Clown show. I found a lot of great things in it, like
Deep cuts.
deep cuts from American life, you know, solemn laments about Rocco growing up, you know, tricycle riding.
Her makeup for that whole get up and outfit was fucking flawless.
A weirdo red wig that I kind of like.
Pink. It was the pink wig,
yeah.
and she didn't have eyebrows, and she had that little teardrop coming down from her face, and the little weird candy striper type stockings.
It's something she's never done before. The closest thing you can compare it to is probably the Madame X tour, but even so, Tears of a Clown was very, very extreme, very improvised, as well as just bordering on ridiculous.
I was not a huge fan of it at the time. In retrospect, I look back on it and I'm like, that was kind of a ballsy thing to do.
Yeah, but it's a great record now. You look back and you're like, oh wow, that's a record of that time.
I want more of that too.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm starting a list now. My wish list for Madonna in the Roaring 20s. I would like an art film every year. I'd like maybe a documentary every year, and yes, a crazy ass Madonna performance every year.
Televised, please.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's always been my wish list of when she's on tour. Like, why do football or sports in general, why do they get networks dedicated to airing the same game over and over and over again? I mean, it's just, baseball is baseball, people. We understand how the game, but they air a whole season of baseball. Why, when Madonna goes on tour, can't we get Madonna on television? You and I can comment. We can be commentators in the box. Like, hey, here we are again at the Madame X show in Miami.
Aren't we already doing that?
Well, we're not there.
I know.
I'd love to be like, they have a little press box, and we're live from the Madame X tour in Miami. The show is just, did you see that? She changed up that dance move. Or
let's get an instant replay.
Yeah. If you look at her hand, you can tell that she's pointing at this dancer and this and that.
And I love the hushed, Olympics gymnastics coverage voice.
Because we wouldn't be able to actually be out loud.
Exactly.
But that would be fantastic. Who wouldn't want that?
I know. Guy Oziri, take note.
Come on.
So,
we need this.
Also in 2016, we get, one of the I don't know if it's the first of, but it's one of many Madonna appearances on The Late Show with Jimmy Fallon, one of her friends. And they perform Borderline with toy instruments. They also do like a Bitch on Madonna thing too, right?
That was before.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think 2015 is when she did the Bitch on Madonna.
That's right. That makes sense.
She did that huge, big, elaborate Bitch on Madonna performance, and then 2016 was when she performed Borderline and met President Obama.
Yeah, and she was a little shy, which was really funny.
She now knows how I feel when I met her. I remember her saying, she's like, I was so nervous meeting him. Like, now that's how it feels, Madonna.
Yeah, because, usually, even if she's a little insecure, she'll counter it by being obnoxious or saying something rude and disarming.
Exactly. That's how I was.
But
I was rude and disarming to Madonna.
Barack Obama shows up, and then Little Miss has something to say, has nothing to say.
I know. It's
really
such a cute little photo. But good for her.
Yep.
And then in December of that year, the Rebel Heart Tour premiered on Showtime. It's Showtime, people.
It's Showtime, people. It was actually very exciting. I remember getting Showtime just for that reason, as one does.
Wow, you're dedicated.
Well,
Tony.
I wanted to see it on that big screen. And
I just climbed up the electrical pole outside my apartment building and hacked into Showtime. Don't tell anything.
And, after seeing the show a couple of times at Barclays here in Brooklyn, I just... in very well-placed seating, I knew that this was going to be even better on DVD or, on Showtime, and I was not wrong.
I was just happy that we got to hear the version of Candy Shop from that.
Oh, Candy Shop.
I love that version. That's
I know.
Literally my favorite version of Candy Shop is from Rebel Heart Tour.
As I hear that, my heart breaks a little because we did not get Candy Shop in the Welcome to My Photo Club section, but it's okay. It's okay.
Justice for Candy Shop.
Wouldn't it have sounded great with like a Fado version?
Oh my
with,
God,
like,
can you imagine?
Accordions.
Instead of welcome to my photo club, welcome to my candy shop. Oh, see, Madonna.
Madonna.
Come on.
What have you done to us? Yeah, and then we also get the Rebel Heart tour DVD/live album, and that was great too. More of that, please.
I wonder if we'll get that for Madame X, or if she's going to sort
We
of
have
like.
to. We have to.
Well, yeah, I would like that, but I wonder if we will, like, because she's doing things so differently for this show. But it would be like her Broadway recording.
Yeah,
like
the more things change,
the cast album.
the more things stay the same. I would hope. I mean, we didn't get tours released regularly.
We never used to.
And now we get it with each album,
The
with each tour.
The gift that keeps on giving.
She realizes that, there's millions of people that don't get to see her. So this is a great way to reach them.
But I also would like to have the Madame X remix album come out as well, because I just feel like there have been so many fantastic remixes. They should just give us some of the best remixes of the songs that we've already heard, and then fresh remixes for all of the songs that haven't gotten remixes.
We like them fresh. So also in 2016, Madonna received the distinct honor as being named the Woman of the Year by Billboard magazine. And it was an incredible speech. I won't go into it too much because I won't do it justice. But if you listen to it, you may shed a tear because Madonna did. And she's just very, very real and very realistic about the state of women in music today. And, today, it's just as relevant today as it was in 2016. But yeah, it also, takes you back to everything that she's had to go through and is still going through. So yeah, it's very heartfelt, and take a listen.
Oh, 2016 also, I totally forgot this, that's when she did the Hillary Washington Square Park performance.
Oh my God, I was there.
I was there too. We didn't know each other at that time, Tony.
No, but we were
close,
there
yet
in
so
spirit.
far.
I mean, I still want to smack the girl who would not move in front of me and blocking my view of Madonna's head. But
tell us how you really feel about it.
Oh my God. But it was still very magical. My best friend and I, we just off the cuff ran there.
I ran as well.
And
I've never made it to Washington Square Park from my apartment as fast as that night.
Still can't believe that I saw Madonna live for free. That was the first time that happened.
There you go.
And it was in the middle of the streets.
It was great. Yeah, it was such a fun venue to sort of see her at.
Yeah, and people were freaking out. It was quite amazing. We were all very excited, thinking we were going to have a woman president the next day. We all now know how that turned
didn't quite
out.
go the same, which then segues perfectly into January of 2017. Madonna spoke at the Women's March in Washington, D.C.
And did she ever? We also got a really great photo of Madonna and Cher together.
Yes, finally.
That doesn't happen too
icons.
often. Legends only.
Yes, but yes, she had a rousing speech at that Women's March, and
she got in trouble again.
A little trouble, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Madonna.
We can't repeat what she said because we do not. We do not.
We don't. We would get shut down, Tony.
Yeah.
That would not behoove us for season 2.
We do not want to get the Secret Service in my apartment.
Yeah. So. Shh. And then let's see, what else do we have in...
early in 2017, Madonna opens up her arms to Esther and Estella, who are now working for her on the Madame X tour.
I know, those lucky little girls, they get to perform every night.
They get to perform with Madonna every night. They get to shade the audience. They get to wear Madonna's archived outfits.
Oh my God, those boots.
Basically, they're the luckiest little girls in the world.
To raid that closet. Oh my God, I probably wouldn't fit in any of her outfits, but I would
have fun trying
I would try it anyway. I would just get one of her little seamstresses to like sew me into it or something. But yeah, then we also, in 2017, we had the launch of the Barney skincare line, launch of the MDNA skincare line at Barney's, RIP Barney's.
The first time this line was introduced to the United States, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask if you were there or not.
Was I there? Yes, I was. I wasn't going to go because I had to work that day. And I remember thinking, well, if you're not there first thing in the morning, there's no way I'm going to be able to get in.
That's why I couldn't go.
So I was like, I'm not going to go. And literally at like 4:30, a friend of mine texted me saying, Stefan, you have to come here. There's like 10 people in the store waiting for her. I'm like, what? So 5 o'clock came. I flew.
Did you recognize any of those 10 people?
Yes. I flew across town as fast as I could. I was in a cab. The crosstown traffic was a nightmare. I just literally threw money at the guy. I was like, I'm running. And I just ran to Barney's.
Take Broadway instead of Fifth Avenue.
That was a nightmare. Have you ever seen Michelle Pfeiffer in that George Clooney movie?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Eating chips.
Where she's like always telling the cab drivers how to go.
I love
I'm
that.
like, seriously, that's exactly how it was. I was like, no, don't do that. Take this street instead. And he didn't listen to me. And then we were stuck in traffic. And I was like, fuck this. I'm getting out and I'm running.
That's what I did on my way to Washington Square
you
about a year
to.
earlier. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was there. I was across the makeup counter from her. I have that wonderful video of her asking, who wants to buy me a diamond? And
Not me.
Yeah, I was like, I don't got the cash.
Because I spent all my money on MDNA skin.
Exactly. But yeah, it was great to see her there and be so super close. And so yeah, so that was the launch of the. And then I think later after the launch of the skincare, she then went and did stand up, right? At like
that's right.
in like the village somewhere, like with Amy Schumer or something. Like they did like dual stand up, and it was the first time she ever did stand up.
Yeah, no one told me about that, or I would have been there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's lucky those people who just happened to be in the audience.
We were talking about this earlier, and also that year in September, Madonna did an interview with the BBC about, just maybe, perhaps, possibly doing smaller scale residency style shows in a theater, something more intimate. At the moment, I thought,
That'll never
that's
happen.
never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, and look at us now.
Yeah, cut to 2019 and Stefan in the beer bitch seat.
Yeah, don't say she didn't tell you that it was going to happen. So,
but Madonna's philanthropy needs to be mentioned once again because in July 2017, the Mercy James Institute for Pediatric Surgery and Intensive Care opens in Malawi, and that was funded entirely by Madonna and Raising Malawi. So, I mean, I have to bring these moments up because there's so many people talking about what she doesn't do or what she does that's, outrageous or scandalous. And, this is something that I wish I could do. I wish I could open up a hospital in Africa and help thousands of children. So there you go.
Good for you, Madonna. But then in 2018, we sort of got a preview of what was to come on the Madame X album.
At this point, Madonna was already living in Lisbon.
Soccer mom Madonna.
Yeah. She had not been telling people that she was there. I don't think the press really knew about it, but in January 2018, she hinted that she was working on a new album while she was living abroad.
Yes, and at the Met Gala, we got a performance by Madonna, which was wonderful. I wish I had been there.
This was the Met Gala that I previously mentioned earlier. This is the one that was based on extreme Catholicism or Nuns on the Run or whatever it was.
Yeah, I loved her look when she came on the red carpet, and then the performance, she was like all white and the braids.
And she performed Like a Prayer, that version we all know and love. And then she did something that at the time everyone was thinking was called Beautiful Game, but it was actually an early version of Dark Ballet, and it sounded great. It just kind of gave you a taste of things to come. I thought, well, this is obviously going to be on the next album, and it's going to have a little bit more of like a gravitas. It's going to be a little bit more serious, I would say. Also because it was followed by her cover performance of Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, and that's something that Madonna never does.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good performance. Really good. I was very happy to see the video.
It was very well thought out, and it was very classy and expensive looking as well, because obviously it happened at the Met Ball.
Yeah.
Madonna performing in a museum.
Right, and then I guess for the rest of the year, did we get very much else from her? Because she was busy working on the Madame X album, which we obviously didn't know it was Madame X was coming.
Yeah, she was working on that, and she also got a little bit more of inspiration when she celebrated her 60th birthday in Morocco.
Oh, right. How could we forget?
How could we forget? We all know now that that's what influenced Come Alive, Come Alive, Come Alive.
And so I love the outfit, that purplish outfit that she was like a sort of like full-length outfit that she wore on her birthday. And yeah, she looked beautiful.
She had a really good time.
That looked like an epic birthday.
Yeah, she's still talking about it.
If I turn 60, that's how I want my birthday to be.
Yep.
But then...
and then she, back to working on Madame X, she collaborated with Quavo and Cardi B on a song on Quavo's album called Champagne Rosé.
Oh my God, how did I forget that?
How can you forget
that gem?
that bop, you know. But, you know, that's obviously where Future was conceived and developed, you know. Yeah. And, you know, we all know that not everyone is going to the Future.
No.
Except Madam X. She showed up in our Future in 2019.
Yes, and we were gifted with, in case you didn't remember, all those X's that started appearing and infuriating fans. What the hell is she doing?
And inspired by Madam X, you got us in that deal.
Right, I know. It's so fun to think that that's what sort of like drew us here. Speaking of the podcast, Tony and I just want to say thank you to everybody who tunes into the Little Madonna podcast that could. I mean, what started out as an audible love letter to the Queen of Pop has organically evolved into something so much more. We discovered a community of not just fans, but people looking to make a connection with one another. Over this past year, our podcast experiment grew and evolved and became so much more than either one of us could have imagined. We've become friends and pen pals with people from all over the world. We've received outreach from people saying that their lives feel better and fuller by listening to our podcast. And we want to stress that neither Tony nor myself are patting ourselves on our backs. Each week when we record, we are simply trying to produce an hour of fun conversation about a mutually agreed upon topic, aka Madonna, and getting the chance to bring those conversations to people who don't have their own personal outlets fills us with literal joy. We are truly humbled that you choose to join us here on this podcast. Madonna created a movement that brings people together from all walks of life through their mutual appreciation of her art, whether it be music, dance, video, photography, or through her constant and undeterred fight for equal human rights and immense philanthropic causes. She has connected and continues to connect with each and every one of us. So as we wrap up our very first season, we are very grateful to have a small part of that connection with each and every one of you. But this is not goodbye.
No.
Tony and I know that there are so many more stories to yet be told, and Madonna is not going anywhere anytime soon. So we will be taking a few weeks off to rest and relax, but we will be back in the next year with season 2, and we cannot wait.
I couldn't have put it better myself, Stefan. We truly are grateful for all of the listeners, all of the new friends we've made. You know, as I've mentioned many times, this is something that I wanted to do so I could have, you know, a venue to speak about Madonna, and boy, did I get my wish.
Yeah, it's been, we have said it many times before, we didn't know what we were doing when we started, and we just sort of decided, let's just start talking and recording and see how it goes. And
yeah,
here we are, like 26, 27 episodes?
Yeah, 27 episodes, you know, and life is hard, guys. We all know this, but when we are in the space, it's, you know, it's like everybody, you know, you can just dance and sing, get up and do your thing, enjoy Madonna, don't enjoy Madonna, look back, and, you know, just it's all about the memories and making new memories with Madam X.
Yeah, it's so true. So thank you, everyone.
Yes, and we want to wish you guys happy holidays if we haven't already, Happy New Year.
I can't believe it.
We will see you in 2020, which is the second leg of the Madam X tour in Europe, and we've got a lot of friends there.
Yes.
And I hope you got that. I hope you got that gangbang reference.
And Tony, I just want to say thank you for being a wonderful podcast partner in this experiment. It's been a crazy little journey this past year.
Well, thank you, Stefan, for putting up with all my fits when I couldn't figure out how to edit, all the meltdowns, all of the threats to quit the podcast.
Yeah, I think we both got to a point where we were just like, if we can't figure out this audio, we are out of here. So I'm glad that we both decided to stick it out.
And I've actually become a really good editor and a decent producer. So I hope to get better and entertain you guys with this podcast. So yeah, you can follow us on Apple Podcasts, Luminary, Spotify, Podbean, anywhere that podcasts are available. You know, like and subscribe. You know, rate and review. Give us a 5-star review. Let's get our ratings up.
Or not.
You know. You
can do whatever you want.
Listen, Alyssa Milano's podcast gets 3 stars. So,
well, I think we're 3.5. Sorry, Alyssa.
We are the little podcast that could, and guess what? We will. So,
wake up.
Wake up, guys. Happy New Year. We love you, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.